Warriors received 6 new runes in Season of Discovery Phase 2, and in this guide I'm going to show you how to get them all. There will be timestamps down in the description so you can skip ahead to the ones you need, and please don't forget to like and subscribe if this video is helpful. One of the earliest obtainable runes for Warriors in Phase 2 is the Rune of Focused Rage. This rune reduces the rage cost of all offensive abilities by 3, so it's a great pickup as early as possible. This rune involves slaying a level 35 elite along with 2 other trolls, so depending on our skill level, we may need to group up. I was able to obtain this fairly easily at level 34 after grouping with 2 other warriors around my level. To get this rune, we'll want to travel to the Arathi Highlands. We'll travel to the southeast where the Witherbark trolls reside and slay them until we obtain a Witherbark mallet. We'll then head to the cave near waypoint 5058. Deep inside the cave, we'll find a gong. After clearing out the trolls around the gong, we'll ring it with the Witherbark mallet. This will summon a Witherbark Goliath along with 2 adds. We'll slay the trolls and loot the Goliath. And voila! We have the Rune of Focused Rage. Enraged Regeneration is a new feat slot rune added in Season of Discovery Phase 2, and we're going to go over how to get it. Enraged Regeneration is probably going to be the most used feat rune because it heals you for 30% of your maximum health over 30 seconds. It can only be used when enraged, but it can also be used while stunned. To start this acquisition, we're going to head to Desolus, waypoint 4855. In the Kodo Graveyard, we'll find the Extinguished Campfire where we'll pick up the quest Highway Robbery. We'll continue on to Bibli Futzbuckle to the northeast at waypoint 6239 to turn in the quest and pick up the follow-up quest on the Lamb. Next, we'll head to Booty Bay, where we'll turn in the quest to Tokal at 2777 in the Salty Sailor Tavern and pick up the quest Cherry for Your Thoughts. We'll buy Cherry Grog from Nixrax, fill a mug at the bar, and turn the quest in. The follow-up quest will be No Honor Among Thieves, which will require us to fly all the way out to Arathi Highlands. We'll use the boat at waypoint 5391, which will take us to the eastern shore. We'll talk to Ilari Duskfeather at waypoint 9471. She's a night elf who believes the other races don't belong on Kalimdor. If we're night elf, we'll be able to receive the key peacefully. Otherwise, we'll have to slay her and loot the key. Once we have the key, we'll loot the nearby box to get the rune. Intervene is a new foot slot warrior rune in Phase 2 of Season Discovery, and I'm going to show you how to get it. Intervene is a classic warrior spell that is a nice additional gap closer. It allows you to charge at a party member, intercepting the next melee or ranged attack made against them, as well as reducing their total threat by 10%. It does require you to be in defensive stance. To get this rune, we're going to want to travel to the Thousand Needles. Both factions will access Thousand Needles for the first time by traveling south through the Barrens, but if you already have the Gadget Zan flight point, it'll be easiest to fly there and travel north. Once you're in the Thousand Needles, you'll travel to the southwest corner at waypoint 6888. There you'll find 3 combat dummies. You'll use Execute on the left target dummy, Taunt on the middle target dummy, and Shield Bash on the right target dummy. That will cause a chest to spawn, which you'll loot to get Intervene. Blood Surge is one of the new waste slot warrior runes in Season of Discovery Phase 2. This is definitely one we'll want to pick up as it yields the highest DPS increase for most talent builds. Blood Surge gives your Heroic Strike, Whirlwind, and Bloodthirst a 30% chance to make your next slam instant cast and cost no rage. This rune was soloable at level 40, but I wouldn't suggest starting it any earlier unless you have help. To start the rune acquisition, we'll slay elite ogres in Stromgard Keep or the Altaric Mountains. The ogres in the Altaric Mountains are more plentiful, so I would suggest farming there. This part will be much easier completed in a group. Once we've looted the illegible recipe, we'll start the quest and head to the Arathi Highlands, where we'll turn it in at waypoint 5972. We'll need to collect 4 ingredients, the first of which is found in the current zone. Head to waypoint 2184 and loot the Smuggler's Spice Blend from the bottom level of the sunken ship. There are a lot of Naga here, and I was lucky enough to loot the spices before I died. I just took the res sickness because I didn't want to run all the way to my body. Next, we'll head to the Hillsbrad foothills and slay the wild griffins north of Durnhold Keep around waypoint 7734 to loot the hybrid haunch. Then, we'll travel to the Badlands. We'll head to Angor Fortress around waypoint 4128. Deep inside the fortress, we'll find the Balmy Brew at the bottom of the staircase that leads into the basement. While we're in the Badlands, we can actually pick up a second rune, Rallying Cry. For this rune, we'll be searching for the Wandering Swordsman, which can spawn all over the west side of the map. Creating a /tar macro or downloading the Rare Scanner add-on will help us find him. Once you find the Wandering Swordsman, we'll slay him and loot the rune. He may be soloable if you have retaliation and consumables up, but I would definitely suggest gathering some help. Lastly, we'll head to the Swamp of Sorrows. If we're Alliance, we'll likely be traveling to the swamp from Darkshire. I would suggest picking up the quest Supplies to Netherguard before heading out. Once we're in the Swamp of Sorrows, we'll slay Deathstrike tarantulas for the Vicious Venom. They can be found southeast of Stonard. Again, if we're Alliance, we'll leave the swamp to the south and travel to Netherguard Keep where we can turn in the quest we picked up. We'll then fly back to the Arathi Highlands and turn in the quest to Skonk. He'll turn aggro and we'll have to defeat him to turn in the quest, which grants us the rune and a really nice one-handed mace as well. Precise Timing is a waste slot rune added in Phase 2 of Season of Discovery, and we're going to look at how to get it. This rune causes our slam ability to be instant cast, but puts it on a 6-second cooldown. This rune is obtained from the Dark Rider quest chain, which grants every class in the game one of their runes, so while it is soloable, it shouldn't be hard to find a group to help out. We'll start off the chain by talking to the Dalaran agent in Deadwind Pass at waypoint 5235. We'll receive Eridan's Sigil Trinket, which we'll want to equip. We don't have to have this equipped, but someone in our party will need to have completed this step. This trinket will allow us to summon Dark Riders all around the world, which drop various Dalaran relics. Once we're in an area where a Dark Rider can be summoned, we'll receive the Dark Presence buff, at which point we can use the trinket to summon a Dark Rider. The first Dark Rider can be found nearby in the Deadwind Pass at waypoint 4429. It's important to note that everyone in the party or raid will need to tag the Dark Rider in order to loot the item. We had some issues where Dark Riders were slain before low levels were able to tag due to their spells being resisted. Next, we'll travel to the Swamp of Sorrows, where we'll summon the Dark Rider in the northeast at around waypoint 7029 to obtain the Odd Dalaran relic. Our next stop will be Duskwood at waypoint 2346 near Raven Hill. This Dark Rider holds the Glittering Dalaran relic. The Badlands is the next stop on our route, where we'll summon and slay the Dark Rider at waypoint 6623 to loot the Slippery Dalaran relic. The final relic in the Eastern Kingdoms can be found in the Arathi Highlands at waypoint 6242. We'll slay this Dark Rider to pick up the Whirring Dalaran relic. We'll then head to the Barrens in Kalimdor to pick up the Heavy Dalaran relic, which drops from the Dark Rider that can be found at waypoint 5236. And last but certainly not least, we'll head to the Desolus to slay the Dark Rider found just south of Nigel's Point at waypoint 6623. This Dark Rider drops the Creepy Dalaran relic. Once we've obtained all 7 of the relics, we'll return to the Dalaran agent in Deadwind Pass and turn in each quest. I would highly suggest waiting to complete these quests until we're level 40, as turning in all 7 relics plus the follow-up quest yields more than 10 gold.